move on to do the reactions to some of the top headlines, and we have to start off from news coming out. I don't know if it's really, is it coming out from Brazil, is it coming out from Saudi, however you want to perceive it. But Neymar, apparently he could return from injury next week. Neymar, he has made some significant improvements since that huge knee injury that he suffered playing for Brazil against Uruguay in the last year's World Cup qualifier. And now apparently he could be fit to play in Al Hilal's game that's going to be played on October 21. He's been out for a year since he suffered a torn ACL and a meniscus in that left knee, and now he's returned to training. On September 29. They're monitoring his fitness levels, and now he's set to be able to return to play in time for Al Hilal when they take on Al Ain in the Champions League, the Asian Champions League on October 21. Al Hilal coach Jorge Jesus say we'll have the final say on Neymar and when he'll return. However, they do need to get the approval of Brazilian team doctor Rodrigo Lasmar, that actually was the one that carried out the Neymar surgery. Rodrigo Lasmar is set to be traveling to Saudi Arabia to evaluate Neymar's fitness, and yeah, that'll be great. And obviously the Brazil Federation is going to be monitoring this, and they're hopeful that Neymar will be available, because in November they have huge World Cup qualifiers against Venezuela and Uruguay, and they hope that Neymar will be available and there to play for Brazil, so that they can start building some momentum going forward, because this is a Brazil team that look pretty poor right now for their standards. Serginho Dest, the dirt on Xavi continues. Oh my goodness, shots coming left and right from a lot of different directions. You have Jean Laporta, you had Luis Enrique. Now it is Serginho Dest that joins the club. Serginho Dest said, basically saying Xavi was dishonest. So let's just read the quotes exactly. I wouldn't say, when he was asked if there was much regrets, when Serginho Dest was out, he said, I wouldn't say regrets, because how it ended didn't depend on me, but I don't feel I had the necessary chances with Xavi. I felt like I had to play with limits that I could not be myself. I want to join the attack, which is my biggest strength, but he asked me not to go forward. I don't think he was honest with me either. Let me go back to that. I don't think he was honest with me either. We had several conversations in which he told me one thing, but after I had doubts whether he really told me the truth. In the summer of 2023, before going on holiday, he told me, I'm counting on you. Don't read the press. And as soon as I returned, he told me, you have to go. That's tough. He went on to talk about his time under Koeman. I was flying when I arrived. Things went well on an individual level, but in the end, I was new here. My teammates didn't know me. My style is to take risks with the ball, but I was asked to play differently. That made me lose some confidence in my decision making. You doubt whether to be yourself or change your style. Those doubts damage your performances. Now Serginho Dest, we know he's currently sidelined with the ACL injury, and he should be returning to action next year. There's a lot of negative, connotations coming regarding Xavi, since he's, been sacked by Barcelona, and yeah. Erling Haaland, he apologizes after Norway were completely dumped by Austria after they lost 5-1, and he said that the performance was far too bad. Sorry everyone, that was far too bad on my part. In November we go for 6 points. Haaland sent this on Instagram. Haaland, he was criticized because he declined to answer any question from the media, the Norwegian press, after the game. And the stand-in captain, Sander Berg, said after the game, he has every right to do that. You can feel the disappointment now. We have a team in there. We stand in ups and downs regardless. The most important thing is that we are united. I do have to say, Erling Haaland right now, look, he's still very, very young, and he's only 24 years old, but I really hope that Norway, and I don't know if it's a coaching issue or a talent issue or quality issue, but I hope we get to see Erling Haaland in many international tournaments to come. Because from what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem that likely, because Norway, they're not even particularly close to reach these, international tournaments, Yeah, they've been in a few, they went in the 2021 Euros, they were in that, they were in that Nations League qualifying, the Nations League qualifying part of it, the last teams to get in. In the World Cup wasn't really particularly close. This past European Championship wasn't really that close, and and they got beat by a Scotland team, which is not even the strongest team to get one, to reach the European Championship. So I just hope that we don't, this doesn't turn into, a situation like Aubameyang, or as something of that sort, where we just don't get to see this, a player with real brilliant ability never play on the big international stage, because we haven't seen him so far in any European Championship up to this point, and he didn't qualify for the 2022 World Cup. So, hopefully that they're able to turn it around, so that they can make it going on. Chilwell is apparently linked with the move to Napoli. We know that Chilwell, he's fallen completely out of favor with Enzo Maresca, and he was told to actually leave in this summer. He now is involved in the squad, but doesn't really get any minutes, and which means the January move could be a potential opportunity for him to make the move to get some playing time. It's been reported that Napoli are interested in him. Conte is said to be impressed with this player, and it could be an initial loan for Chilwell, and that could turn permanent in the summer of 2025, which I think is something that will fit both Napoli and the player, because Napoli, they play with, for both sides, they play a formation that fits to Ben Chilwell's strengths, being on the left-hand side of a back five, being able to show his quality going forward, and having that, protection from the left center half to, because Ben Chilwell is not the particularly most lockdown defender, especially since the injuries that he suffered. And Conte, I think he'll really be able to take advantage of his qualities. I think Conte has turned the worst fullbacks with less talent, into playable players. I think he can really take advantage of Chilwell. So I think that's something that could work out on both sides, I do have to say. But thank you guys for tuning in to the GSMC Soccer Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. We don't have a... Thank you guys for tuning into the GSMC Soccer Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. So thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to